So first things first, how are you?
We're great. Yeah. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's not too bad. It's getting colder, which and darker, which I don't like. But
yeah, but you're in Belgium, right?
The Netherlands, close to Amsterdam. Yeah. I am.
Close down. Yeah, okay. Nice.
So before we get into the music, I'd like to start with something else. Now, Árni, I read somewhere that you have also been a music teacher. What is the one thing you also always try to teach to your students?
I had a curriculum to follow.
Okay.
I used to teach, give private lessons on piano. I did not like that much to give private lessons on piano, especially to children. They have too much energy for me. They just run around and there was also a drum kit in the room where I was teaching. So the kids would always just go and bang on the drums. But I love teaching though, group classes. I was also teaching harmony and kind of music theory to teenagers. And I did enjoy that. Because the teenagers, they want to learn. They are interested. It's not just some kids that their parents forced them to go and study the violin or piano or whatever. It's and also I like to have students after 14 years old. Everything before 14, they can just forget about it.
Well, if you think back, and this goes for you as well, Natasha, but if you think back at when your own interest in music started developing, was that before or after age 14?
For you? Or?
Well,
both.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, I don't know. It's kind of hard to remember when it all started, but I actually remember I was born in Siberia in a small town. It's really in the middle of nowhere, so I never even specified.
Okay.
But because people just know Siberia. Anyway, my father used to bring some kind of CDs. They're very, special thing for us so we had maybe 4 CDs that I listened 100 times. So I used to write down the lyrics of all the English songs that I didn't understand at the time. And I would write it in Russian letters just to be able to memorize the lyrics. So I guess, I was probably 9 or 10. So I really liked the music, probably. I don't know, I guess to do that, to be so obsessed with some songs. It starts.
Oh, sorry. Out of those 4 albums, which one was your favorite?
Okay, we had a compilation of Beatles, and then there was some kind of bizarre album that was, I think it was just covers, because I don't remember, everything was 80s covers. And there was Mariah Carey, one of the covers of Jackson's 5 song. And I remember years later when I was 20 something, I remembered how much I loved the song. And I thought it was Mariah Carey's song. And then I remembered the lyrics, already knowing the English. I was able to Google it, and I found out it was Jackson's 5. So it was kind of funny.
And Árni, I seem to remember that because you mentioned that age thing. And now, were you in a band that was doing quite well at a very early age, before even, I think, around 13 or something?
No, we thought we were doing at the age of 13, I was having a band with my brother.
Okay. And
we named the band. I can't even say the name of the band was terrible. Okay, I'll just say that was Forhóðrostur, which means foreskin cheese. That was the name of our band, which is I think you have to probably bleep this part out. But I don't know, we played in the school, school dances and stuff like that.
Okay.
Success, I guess. I don't know. We got some interest from the girls, I guess, once.
Okay, so fair enough. But so when did it, because you're both into music, and then you kind of, I think you met on a kind of fateful night in Spain at some point. Do you remember kind of, well, I don't know if that's true, but
yeah.
do you Okay, but do you remember meeting each other for the first time, and what was that connection like, especially musically, or did that develop later?
Well, it didn't, of course, develop on the first meeting when we saw each other. Ooh, let's see. Well, I mean, we met because Árni was visiting his brother in Spain, in Barcelona, and I was living also in Barcelona at that time. Mm-hmm. So we just got acquainted really at that point. But when we got to know each other, it was in Iceland, because I went there for 2 months on the school break. Like I was studying BA in fashion design in Barcelona, and when we had a break, his brother actually, he just invited me. He's, yeah, just come to Iceland. I was like, what am I gonna do there? I didn't even Google the country, to be honest. I didn't know anything about Iceland. So silly. I just came in my light jacket from Barcelona, and they're like, what? Where's your, like, do you have like some warm socks? I was like, it's summer. What are you talking about?
You still need winter clothing in summer in Iceland.
I mean, they gave me like huge 80s overalls, so I was looking ridiculous. I don't even know how Árni decided to talk to me because I looked so silly in Iceland. But we started, actually, at that time, we already started to kind of messing around with some songs, but nothing serious until later. But yeah, that was probably the first thing. I mean, Árni, he's just amazing with all the instruments. So
Stop it.
So I was just drawn to this talent because he could play any instrument, really. He could just grab anything and just do music. So for me, because I didn't have musical education, I was always writing songs and poetry, but for me it was kind of, this is what I needed to make my my things work with.
Yeah, and I'm not very poetic, so like I needed her out. Yeah, exactly. Like she's much more like emotionally intelligent than I am. I have like nothing to say. I know how to play the instruments, but I have nothing to say. But she has so much to say, so like it works perfectly.
But that's very interesting then because Natasha, first of all, what made you start writing songs and what made you want to get these thoughts out? And then Árni, for you, what did you hear in her songs and kind of her lyrics?
You
want to answer first? What made you?
No, you do.
Okay. What drew my attention was just her sense of melody. I think she has kind of like a raw sense of melody, and I don't know, like just a knack for like kind of memorable melodies. Like she would like be singing melodies and like making melodies on her phone, and like I would be like humming these melodies for days afterwards. They really just like stick in my brain, and I think that's a good quality. And also just the approach of music is different because she's not like she doesn't have like this kind of educational formal background, so she kind of approaches it more like in a human way, like a more organic way.
Right.
While I'm just like, no, the fifth does not fit in this chord because this is supposed to be a diminished chord. Like I'm like all like rules.
But what I find really interesting is, Natasha, because you studied fashion, like you say, but you've always been interested in music. So what made you write kind of poetry or write songs and write thoughts down?
I mean, I don't know. Like, to be honest, I don't think I ever thought I'm going to do anything with music, but just naturally, I was always writing songs. Like, I don't know why, like, to be honest. Because I was at some point when I was doing BA, I was 100% into finishing that BA in fashion, and I was really concentrated on that. So I guess if I wouldn't meet Árni, who like decided, okay, no, we can make something out of your songs. Maybe I didn't have enough belief in that's anything professional, but I just loved writing music, and and Árni needed me, I guess, to complete that puzzle. But I mean, I'm still doing my brand, so I'm kind of like 50-50. I mean, maybe a bit more with the music, but I I'm very, spread out person. I do so many things.
Okay.
And music is just one of the biggest passions, I guess.
And with that in mind then, because you did release an EP last year, but I think the main focus now is writing. I don't know how far you are, but a full album for next year. So in terms of the development of the sound and music, how would you describe the new music or what is coming?
I think it's more mature than the EP. I mean, we did it really in the haste, like, oh, let's do EP, and we just kind of picked the first 3 songs we wrote pretty much. We didn't have any filter, but now I think in total around 50 songs that we wrote, or even more, before having a selection of what we want to work on. So we're much more focused and gave it much more time and consideration than before.
Yeah, like with the EP, I think like also this album is more collaborative in a way, like because the EP I kind of just I had my studio in my parents' house in the countryside of Iceland, and I would just kind of go there by myself and record, and then like Nata would come and record the vocals. But now we decided to we moved together to Tarragona in Spain, and we just rented this house, and we were just living there, and just focusing on this album together, and developing our sound together and what kind of band we are. While the EP, I just kind of banged them out and we released them. But now we were just really polishing, and thinking, how we want to sound, what we want to be, and all of this. So yeah, more mature, I would say. Yeah.
With that in mind, then. Well, with that in mind, then, because Árni, you've been part of a really successful band, and then you had a taste of kind of what that involves to kind of tour all the time and everything. What is the ambition then that you have? Because now you say you take more time. What do you want out of that album, and do you hope to kind of tour and everything with it when it's possible?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to tour. I'm kind of just dying to play concerts. Okay. Like every musician right now. I mean, there are some concerts we're doing, some online shows. I mean, we're doing an online show on the 27th, and it's fun and all. But like doing all of the traveling and being in a band with your friends, and I mean, of course, I missed that. So it would be ideal to go on the roads and play some shows after this is released. And what's the goal? I mean, I don't know how to do anything else.
Well, maybe not. The goal is maybe too kind of official, but are you very ambitious in a way? Do you want to reach a lot of people?
Yes. I mean, of course, it's a plus if people hear your music and they want to and they enjoy it. But I don't think we're purely just after that. We're not I want.
Yeah, I mean, if this album or this single wouldn't do amazing, we wouldn't stop making music. That's for sure. It's not like a thing. Okay, let's try this project to build it up together, and then if it doesn't sell, then we stop doing it. Because I mean, for any band who start, I mean, this is all a hobby in the beginning because it doesn't bring any money. You mostly put in money.
Sure.
You just have to buy so many things, and it's quite expensive to do any professional mixing and mastering, and all of this is and promotion is also expensive. So you're kind of doing it just purely for music in the beginning, unless you have someone else like a big label that want to pick you up and build it as a product. But in our case, I don't think we're on that stage. We're just doing it for the love of music, really.
Out of obsession.
Yeah, it's kind of that creative self-exploration, but also kind of sharing it then with others and see.
Yeah, I mean, it would be very shameful if this wouldn't be shared with people. Yeah.
Well, you are going to share a song in a couple of days called Stranger. What can you? How did that song start? The creation of that song.
Well, we had a huge grand piano that Árni brought his amazing piano to our garage in Iceland, which was very misplaced because it's an amazing piece of instrument, and it was just standing there in the corner in the garage, and we used to just like sit there by this grand piano and write a lot of songs. And as much as I remember, the song started off with just like that drunk strumming and a piano, and it was a lot of kind of
red wine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a little bit kind of. I mean, the chorus is very like screaming type of chorus, a ballad almost, like, I don't know, it's kind of powerful thing. And I guess it just connected with that moment, just like, whatever, like live your life and enjoy it. And I mean, the song, I guess, is about that, just about doing crazy things and enjoying yourself and not letting anything stop you. Even though it sounds very melancholic, but in reality, it was just like, woohoo, drunk singing. And yeah, it's very raw in that way.
But the journey of this song has been quite long. We recorded the song, I think, like 5 times. Okay. And the first version was recorded in Iceland and was like 6 minutes long. Yeah, and it had more chapters, and the chorus was more often, and it was like much longer. It was very long. And then, like last New Year's, we got some friends coming from Iceland, like another band that I'm playing with, and we decided to all have a concert together. And my brother, who lives also here, he was playing with us with the both bands. And we decided to play this song like on that concert, the Stranger. And after the concert, people were like outside kind of like chanting the song, like after the concert, like they remember the melody. And I was like, wow, people remember the melody after just one listen. That's pretty rare, I guess. And then we decided to we really have to work on it. But because of that, it became a little bit overwhelming. We were like, oh, it's such a good song, we can't destroy it. So we were like, no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. And then even at one point we had like a mixed and mastered version, and we were like showing it to some friends, and I was just like super nervous. And then after that I was like, no, it's not good enough, I have to do it one more time. And then that's the version we have today. And it was like, it was quite a journey. I think I never recorded one song 5 times.
Okay. Well, I was gonna ask, are you very hard on yourself, especially, or do you set the bar high for yourself in terms of the songs? Yes and no. Sometimes, like, I kind of always think the first idea is the best. Nata likes to
digest and revision.
Yeah,
maybe. I mean, often maybe we have some kind of idea, but Árni just wants to record it right away. And often he comes like next day and he was like, I made already drums and everything. And I would be like, I actually had an idea. Can we change that and that and that and that?
And I'm like, no! It took me hours to do the drums. I'm not going to change them.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's good that you can play all those instruments then, that you have kind of, and you have somewhat of a home studio that you can do everything immediate in a way.
Yeah.
In that sense, because I also I find it interesting how kind of there is somewhat of a division in what you contribute to the band. Árni, do you then know what all of the songs that Natasha writes, what they are about? Do you talk about that?
That's a good question. Do you know?
I have my own interpretations
okay.
of what the songs are about. But it has happened that I'm like, often when I'm working on the songs, I am kind of humming the melody and the lyrics, what I think they are. And then she would come and like, what are you singing? Those are not the words. And I'm like just singing something completely wrong, like I would like to have a toast in the morning, and seriously, it's like, no, that's not the line. Stop it.
Oh, go ahead.
Perceive it from a different perspectives, like music in general, because I used to sing a lot and think about lyrics and melodies much more, and just danceability of the songs. Sometimes it'd be like, no, that's just too complicated, because I would need educated and played in jazz bands, and or classical pieces, and I'd be no, I just have to feel good, or like things like that, and he would be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? So we sometimes clash, but then we're kind of like, okay, you're right, and we always find kind of common solution. And I think 100% all the songs we're finishing now, at the end we're really happy with kind of both of our influences.
Sure.
Because maybe something that I bring to the table and something that Árni brings kind of makes that final product.
Yeah, I don't really hear lyrics when I'm listening to music. I'm like, nice bass line. Really nice beat, something like, and the lyrics I have which is, I think, is a plus, because I can enjoy music in whatever language, because it's just some kind of babbling there. And I can also listen equally to like instrumental music as song music, which is like, when I was teaching music, I would also often play music that I like to the kids, and I would give them some kind of fusion jazz, and they would be like, when are the vocals starting? Like, there are no vocals in it. I was like, yeah, people want to have a voice. I guess that's the thing. I'm fine with the saxophone. The saxophone can also play the melody.
Well, yeah, and I think it works both ways. You can use a voice as an instrument, and the other way around.
Yeah, of course, Yeah.
And well, finally then, because I think Stranger comes out in a couple of days. What are your hopes? Because obviously this global pandemic is ruining a lot of things. But what is your hope when you will be able to kind of release the album, or do you have any sense of when that will be possible?
Yeah, well, we decided to start releasing singles, and maybe just with a little intervals, because we have a lot of material, and we have around 10 songs for the album that are almost finished or like close to be finished. So we're just gonna release one by one, and hopefully there would be like more news about the pandemic, because we also don't want to release a full album and be not able to play it at all. But it would be great if the whole pandemic maybe
disappears.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, just stops. Like whoop, gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be great. But if the pandemic would at least take a shape of a more socially open situation when we can play the bars. I mean, Barcelona has the curfew hours. We can't even walk out on the streets after 10. It's very quiet. We actually went for a smoke yesterday, and I never seen streets of Barcelona so empty. Which is also nice. It's very quiet.
There was a negative amount of people in the streets.
Yeah.
well, it's interesting, because in Amsterdam it was the same. It was quieter, which I enjoyed early on, but now, and especially if I think about Barcelona, it's a very vibrant city, a lot of music everywhere. I mean, all cultures coming together, playing music together, as far as I can tell. So now that is gone, and you're mostly inside, well, what keeps the creativity going?
Well, we haven't really played any big tours before. We played shows in Iceland and
Mexico.
We played in Mexico, yeah, actually, funny story. But yeah, I mean, we didn't really play big tours, so we're really hoping that this year going to be when we go on a tour, and we had that all imagination plan. But now, I mean, so we're not missing that much in terms of, we didn't yet have that plan. I think it's a huge bummer for someone who just released an album before pandemic and couldn't really play it, and now it's 1 year old. Oops.
Right.
But it's
so,
also.
I mean, yeah, we're in terms of creativity, we were kind of ready by just a coincidence, because we just we just wanted to close off and write songs, and finish an album. So we just finishing an album, and hopefully when we finished, the world gonna be finished with pandemic.
But I think also it gives you just an opportunity to like rethink things and try to do something different. It's like last night we just turned we have the recording space back here, and we just changed it into kind of a performance space. So like I took out the drum kit and put like up a little stage, and it's just gonna be like a permanent setup there. And we're gonna try now to do just like weekly performances and play like our songs and covers, just to kind of keep us in shape, and also to kind of just connect with people in a new way. I mean, a lot of bands are doing this, and like you can still go about performing for people without driving thousands of kilometers to go somewhere. And like we have the internet, and that's a great thing. Like the internet is a great thing.
Well, I'm on the fence about it. I think there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad as well in terms of.
Yeah, of course, like with everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to see positive things.
Sure,
like,
no, of course.
Connect with people somehow else. No, actually, yesterday we were on a walk and we saw a couple of bands basking. I mean, I don't know if they were bands or just some street performers just like playing on the guitar, and we're like, should we do that? I don't know.
I think we should.
I think it's maybe the only way now to play for actual people.
Right.
I mean,
there were so many people watching them. Like there was this couple just like singing and playing a guitar, and there were so many people around them. So I think people in general are very hungry for live performances. They were just like, yes, give us more, sing those songs.
Yeah, I've only seen one live performance in person since March or something, and it was really like you're looking at it and think, I really miss this. Why hasn't this happened for the last 8 months or whatever? So no, I feel that hunger.
Yeah, exactly. And also teaches us just to like appreciate this more. It's like, because before, like I would maybe play so many concerts, I'd be like, oh, another fucking concert. I just want to watch Friends or something. Like, but now I'm just like, I'm never gonna say no to any gig ever.
Well, for the first couple of months maybe, and then you're
for
okay,
the first
that's
months,
too much.
and then I'm like, fuck this, when is the pandemic again?
Give me another one. Yeah.
Like,
all right, Árni and Natasha, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk with me.
thank you so much.